You're listening to The Dating Den with dating and relationship badass and best-selling author Marni Batista. Every week, you'll get the raw truth from top experts and real people on the important dating, sex, and relationship issues you want to know about. So if you're ready for true talk that's authentic and unfiltered, and you're not afraid to be called out on your stuff, then you're ready for what's next.
The Dating Den Bachelorette Recap with Chris Gillis. What we're saying about being #SexPositive. Welcome to the Dating Den, ladies. I've never been so damn excited to record an episode. We are here in the Dating Den. I've got your favorite manalist, Chris Gillis here. I'm so happy to have you back.
Good to be back.
It's been
overcame so many obstacles to get here for you ladies.
We did. We had a tech breakdown, and you kept saying, "Ask your husband, ask your husband." I tried. I tried to do it. I did figure out all that by myself, but then I figured out why it was working. But then I asked him to help. He gave me his computer.
You were vulnerable. You put yourself out there, and yeah.
He was a little impatient, but he did rally. So we have a brand new season of The Bachelorette to talk about. It has no Chris Harrison. I was never in a sorority, but when they were all hugging and jumping up and down and giggling, I would imagine that might be what it's like if you're in a sorority.
It reminded you why you didn't want to be in a sorority.
Yeah, back in the day, that wasn't my thing. Although my kids have all been in sororities, and I don't think they jump up and down and go, yee! All the time. So, and if you did that, I'm not judging. I think it's actually pretty cute. So we are going to jump right in. So we've got Katie. I want to talk about this because I'm sure this is going to be in the news. She is talking about being #SexPositive. This is a bachelorette who, when she was on Matt James' show, when she got out of the limo, she brought a vibrator. That was her shtick, you know, and so it was cute. I mean, I didn't know that was sex positive because I'm old and ignorant. But anyway, so that's her thing. And they mentioned it twice on the show. So I, of course, had to Google it. And
she really did.
I really did.
I love that. You really did.
I really did.
Sex positive.
I did.
Spectacles on. She was leaning into it. What is this?
I was like, what is it? My kids weren't there. No one's there to tell me.
Sure.
So, you know, and I think it's an interesting concept. It's like, how are you positive about sex and your sexuality and your sensuality and your body and all of those things? And there's this whole thing about, you know, making sex, you know, like positive, right? Like it's neutral more than anything versus shaming people for sleeping around and being sexy. And there was a lot of stuff that I read about, you know, why do women have to like cover themselves and wear certain clothes? If, you know, why can't they just wear like a tiny tank top and short shorts and, you know, go out on the street and without and I'm all about all of those issues. And so it's interesting because my whole brand is dating with dignity, right? And it's not about sleeping around. It's about doing whatever makes you feel good about you. So I was just curious, like, because people always ask on the man panel, if I sleep with him on the first date, you know, does that ruin our chances for a relationship? And I am curious what you would say to that because you've heard all the guys answer over the last few years.
Yeah. That's, you know, that now you got me thinking. Now I need to fucking Google what sex positivity more. I thought I had it. Now I'm like, God damn, maybe you are right because there is like such a fine line. What constitutes, like you said, you know, being, being, you know, just a little slut bag, like I said, and doing what you know, tickling whatever itch you have versus very mindfully with, you know, with dignity and self-respect on hooking up. And I think that is actually, we do this for ladies who haven't joined one of Marni's retreats. You guys got to do it. And that question 100% comes up every single time. Like, will I be bad? If I sleep with a guy, and I'm always like, you know, will he judge me and all that? And it's just so ironic that we all want the same thing, but for some reason it's deemed okay in society for men to go ahead and pursue it, and girls got to be the, you know, coquette and like, no, I don't want to, but I do, but I don't play that game. So we always say no. We most of us, like, it's all up to an individual person.
Yeah.
Most of the guys, and you'll know it. And so far, I think almost all of us, all the men we've had so far on, we're just a small sample of men, but we're always like, no, we don't. We're okay with it if it's coming from like a healthy place. However, if you're trying to manipulate us with sex, or if we're trying to manipulate sex, then don't do it. But it really kind of comes down to what you preach, Marni, which is being this, figuring it out and being this complete human being who doesn't need something, but versus want something, and is doing it from a place of love and security versus trying to get, like, I guess, a hole filled.
Well, right. And I think that's the key. And I think when I used to go back, I mean, this was close 25. So when I was going and speaking at sororities, actually, like on the UC Cal Berkeley campus, it was really interesting over the years just watching the women shift in their mindset. And so there was a lot of like, well, guys sleep around. Why can't I sleep around? And I was sort of like, you can sleep around all day long. Like, I definitely am not here to judge. In fact, when I first got divorced and I was really great friends with you, I was like totally sowing my wild oats that I didn't sow in my 20s, right? I was like, oh, wait, I am attractive. I could sleep with a lot of guys. Like, I had such low self-esteem in high school and college. I was like, ooh, this is fun. The thing, what you're talking about, and what we see when we're working with these women at our Ignite Your Life events, and you see it, is when you are looking to have sex with someone because you think you will get them. You think that if you don't, they're not going to want to see you again. If after you do it, you feel shitty. If after you do it and he doesn't call, you beat yourself up. You feel worthless. So I think if we talk about what's sex positive, is that what it's called? Hashtag sex positive. I think, like, I would say, and so this is a cursory research, is, really my brand, Dating with Dignity. Dignity is when you wake up the next day and you love yourself, no matter what the consequence is. And I totally support this in so many ways, because I see so many women that do end up finding someone that we work with, and then they have all these issues and shame around sex and their body, and it's not a size 0 or whatever it is. And so I'm all for it. And I really hope that if Katie's going to make that because this is all PR and marketing and sales, if she's going to make that her platform, I'm all for it, as long as it doesn't promote rationalizing sleeping around.
Yeah. And I think it's I'm also on the same page with you. And I talk to a lot of men about dating and going through things. And I also tell them the same thing, especially the guys who just came out of breakups. And there's the guys out there who there's so many different ways to what's called, sowing the oats. There's, a lot of men, and probably heard it with the women, is like the best way to get over somebody is to get under them.
Yeah.
Whatever, vice versa. Whatever your position preference may be. And I always let my guy friends know, I'm like, hey man, are you doing this? Are you like out there trying to, like step on other girls with your penis? Is that to make you feel better? Or are you doing it from a healthy place? Is it to get back and to punish somebody else by, some sick, if I give her poison, then I'll, this new girl poison who's dating me, then I'll hurt my ex-girlfriend who hurt me. And I definitely had to, also run through some of those and, breakdowns and checklists to make sure I was doing something out of coming from a whole place, like I said from a second ago, versus out there trying to hurt somebody. So guys are just as guilty of this too. And I guess we don't want two people drinking poison. And I guess that's part of probably dating with dignity, is figure out, is this guy, what's really going on with him? Is he truly trying to have, this next relational step of connection? Like Ed always talks about, also on your man panel, check him out, ladies, or go to Hoffman Process. But, or is he out there? Yeah, exactly. Trying to fill a hole, to fill a hole in somebody else, to fill a hole in himself.
Yeah, I did when I had my whole Johnny Lock breakup way back, which was sort of the thing that got me too.
Member, by the way.
I know.
Johnny Lock.
I totally I slept with one or two of his friends. I was like, wow. I was like, and can you make sure you let him know that I was trying to do that?
Holy shit.
I was doing, that's what I'm saying, ladies. I'm not like shaming anyone. I've done it all. When I was in high school, I've never said this before out loud. I'm going to tell you this. When I was in high school, this guy broke up with me. He's like my, love of my life. And so I went out one night and he wasn't there, but his best friend was at this bar. And I proceeded to, this is so mean. I can't believe I'm saying this in public, but I'm here to show you that I am no better than anyone else. I went out in his car. I gave him a blowjob and I was chewing gum and I planted it in his pubes.
What? That is wild. Marty, you're way more savage than okay, dude, I know. That is nuts.
Isn't that evil? I was like, see, that is not sex positive. That is using sex because I felt less than and I was trying to gain power in both of those situations and it did not work. So there you go. Now I've told the whole truth. Okay, before if you saw me, I'm like blushing. Okay, yes. I was like, don't tell Jeremy that because he'll never.
Yeah, don't. Whatever we do, don't. Let's. We
he'll
have to delete this episode.
He'll never be able to erase that from his mind.
Sorry.
Okay, next question. I think this is an important one about guys being awkward on dates and should you give them first or second or third chances. First of all, I don't know if it was Caitlin. Is it Caitlin Bristow? Is that her name? The plastic surgery girl? And she's a host. And then Tasha, I can't remember which one. They were like, in the sorority house giving her some advice. And they said, don't rule anyone out. Give everyone a chance. And I thought that was super great advice. Because I'm always telling people, rule them in until they rule themselves out. Right? So that's great. And then there are these guys that were super uncomfortable and so nervous. And what I love about the guys is they're like, oh my God, I'm so nervous, which is good. Just say it. And then they were sweating bullets and they were so uncomfortable. And she just kept reassuring them and, wanting to give them a chance. She was following their advice. So what do you think about that?
I guess you're right. That was very wise of her to realize they all can't have some disorder that causes them to profusely sweat. So this too shall pass, and to know that it's a temporary thing, and then they have the jitters. And you're right, man. Holy moly, God, ladies, we get so nervous. And I've said this in other things, like we are way more nervous than you when it comes to first dates and stuff. And we want to get the place right, and we're so screwed. There's so many things where we don't want to screw up, and especially like I talk about, the more we like you, the more we're going to fuck it up. So it's almost a good thing. But I do love, Marni, what you said is, until they're giving you like the red flags, don't worry about it. And even if there's yellow flags, just maybe note it, but don't necessarily allow your brain to take you down some rabbit hole and disclude them or remove them from the running out there. So I get it. I love it. And I can't tell you, I don't really have any friends who are good at really first dates.
And also keep in mind, like, this isn't also the context of a television show. So not only are these guys nervous about meeting this girl who's become an instant celebrity, basically, right? So it's not just a date. She's got this like fame or celebrity attached to her, and there's like cameras, and also probably lights, which actually make it, sweaty environment.
And you're living in a box, and you're like, remember that guy who came in a box?
He was living in that guy. There was a guy who came in a box.
Or a mouse suit. Whatever it means. So.
And why? Okay, so let's talk about Mouse Guy. So this was cute. So, and I'm going to make this in reality. I'm going to make it the context of reality. I really thought it was clever in a way. So he finds out that Katie, who's the Bachelorette, likes cats, and so he comes in dressed in a cat suit, like in a cat costume, very, like an old fashioned, like not a sexy one, like you would put your 6-year-old in it for Halloween, like super cute. And what I'm thinking about is if you put in your profile, like something that you love or something that you like, and a guy makes a reference to it or does something special to celebrate that. I could see some of our ladies before we get our hands on them being like, he was stalking me. That's weird. You know, like, why did he do that? Because so many women are looking to rule out instead of rule in. But I thought it was kind of cute that he took that extra step, and he was goofy and playful. And that's her vibe. So what did you think about Cat Dude?
I thought, well, gosh, man, it'd be a little aggressive if it was a normal out there in the wild. However,
Right.
some guy shows up.
That would be weird if he came out and he's like, "Oh, I saw you like
Starbucks
cats."
and he's in a cat suit. And he's like, "Oh yeah." That's a little. However, gosh, that was awesome. How look, he knew there was going to be a ton of people, and he had to stand out. And maybe he didn't have. Katie's pretty cool in that she doesn't say, like she's not going to pull a Claire Crowley where she finds like the best visual genetic mating partner. She's not like pulling out the NFL combine and saying, okay, you're 6'5",
right,
2% body fat. How many abs do you have? She's more like which is pretty interesting. And until we talk about that, how she doesn't really have a type, and she's super open. I don't know if it's too good or bad thing. She's like, I'll take anybody as long as he's cool. But so I thought that he knew he did differentiate himself. He did have 18 abs all of a sudden because he's dressed as a cat named Tony. So it all kind of
Tommy is her cat.
Tommy. It was kind of genius, right?
Yeah,
so
totally.
I dug it. And
yeah,
how about that kiss?
Yeah, and then he like went for it, and it was like that was like a fuck me kiss.
It was.
It was like it went really, and then he didn't get the Now here's what's interesting: the first impression rose went to the guy who was probably the most, let's just say, nerdy, quote unquote, right? The most awkward, not the like hot, sexy guy, cat guy. So it'll be interesting to see. Now, I want to mention this.
By the way, wait, real quick on that. I think it's totally worth noting for you gals. I don't know if you saw it, Marni. I don't know if you know, but I 100% noticed it because as the man who does give the kiss, I loved how Cat Guy was like, I was so nervous. And, at the end, once he laid it on her, guys, it is so fucking scary for us to reach over and make that first kiss. So just, anything you can do. Marni, I think you talk about this to kind of help it, like so we can trip over you and land on top of you and kiss you, and then anything you
make
do to get
it
in our way.
Obvious, right?
Right, yeah. And I was thank God, because I was like, man, there's no way. How is he going to transition from this? He's got, a black nose with makeup all over it. Like, how's he? And then sure enough, and he admitted it. I was like, well, I can't believe he had the balls. But that was so awesome that he did. He showed her, and he felt so proud of himself. And again, on TV, I'd be so afraid of getting rejected. Holy moly!
Yeah, he just went in for it. What's funny is I was, when you were talking about that, I was thinking about the first time that Jeremy kissed me.
Yeah,
we went on this beach date, but I wasn't actually even sure it was a date because I thought we might be friends.
Right.
And when he kissed me, he just sort of like went for, like, I was out of nowhere, and I was like, well, I guess he really likes me. I guess this isn't friends. And when you say that, I think about like that. As the guy, he probably was standing there, and you guys are just, it's all in your head, and you're listening to us talk or whatever. And you're like, should I do it? Should I do it? I want to do it. Oh my God, is this the right time to do it? And it came off as like, rah, like a shock to the system. And I think that it speaks to this idea of like, give your guy goodwill and credit, like if he's earned it, because it might not be the suavest move and it might be uncomfortable. And he's this human who's really putting himself out there. And the way we have it set up in our culture is, the guy is going to make the first move typically. And that's a lot of pressure. And so I think that's a really good thing to point out is that, it's a big deal for a guy to put himself out there like that, because there's nothing worse than getting the cheek, I could imagine.
And I know this, your job in this podcast, it is all focused on, overcoming the difficulties of dating as a woman, but it's also always worth remembering, ladies, when you're out there, it's like, dude, the guys they're in the same boat as you are. And we are, especially when we like you, we are just as stressed, just as nervous, and just is an emotional mess. But unfortunately, we're too dumb to talk to other people about it and open up and be vulnerable and ask for help. So we just silently suffer. So probably really good. You guys are doing a lot of the work for us. But yeah, just to kind of have that grace and keep that in mind. Like, man, if I'm nervous, holy smokes, he's at least as nervous as me, if not more nervous on there as well. So you're both in this awkward boat of just figuring out dating together.
Yeah, and
And hopefully,
making someone else feel comfortable by just saying, "Wow, I was really, I was really nervous about this date."
mm,
So, so let's see. I had a point that I was going to make, and it totally left. So,
was
so
it when did Jeremy chip your tooth when he like ran in there and
no, he didn't,
kissed
but
you
it
super
was so
hard?
cute.
Aw, that's cute.
I know. So the one other thing is we talked about on the show before, we've talked about, knowing what you want and being clear about
Mm.
it. And you're saying, she doesn't really have a type. That's great. I love that she said to her girl buddies, like, I don't have a type. I'm super open, which I think is interesting. However, when one of the dudes got out of the limo and walked in, she was like, "Oh, that guy's totally my type."
Mm.
So
Mm.
I think she's,
Mm.
I don't know. So I remember what I was going to say. So this is a show. So we know that it's like being produced with the storyline as evidenced last season with Matt James, where it was edited so poorly. There was just really shitty storyline. But we got Katie as a character painted out to us, right? The character of like, her parents got divorced when she was a baby. She
Mm.
went to 5 schools. She never felt like she really belonged.
Yeah.
It's such a big deal for her to feel like she's the Bachelorette and that she belongs. So when you look at how, and we're just going to be predictive here in the last couple minutes that we have, if we were going to look at what should we watch out for, given that that's her
Mm.
childhood, that's her background going into it. Dad left, never really fit in, moved around a lot. Any predictions that we want to watch out for with Katie?
Oh, that's a great question. Actually, yes. Yeah, I would say predictions that, yeah, she puts on such a bold exterior that if actually inside she's cotton candy soft and sensitive. And if she, it'd be interesting to see if she does take things personally. Because remember how she was the person who stood up for everybody when she was on The Bachelor. Remember,
Yes.
who would get bullied, and she was the first person, and that usually she was the first person to pick up arms and to and a sword and to fight for somebody. So that's probably coming from a place. So it'll be interesting to see if, which I'm sure the genius producers will expose whatever scar and dig it back open and wound that she's apparently from the exterior has covered up, making her so tough, to see why she's so tough. She's so tough there on one side. There's probably because she's soft on the inside someplace. And so, I do think to watch out for, like feeling, I don't know if it's abandoned or offended or maybe secretly sensitive, even though she can come out with was it a purple dildo? I don't remember the color.
Yeah, that vibrator thing.
Very
Well, it's
bold.
like,
It actually,
yes. So interesting. And I had this horrible thought of like, oh, I wonder if they'll find her dad and bring him back.
Oh,
because that's what they did last season with Matt. He hadn't talked to his dad. He didn't have a relationship, and they like had this whole confrontation. Or I don't know. I wonder. I got to Google that. Is Matt James still talking to his dad?
Is still talking to his dad. So do you think, on a serious note, do you think that Katie is ready? Do you think that how do you feel about her overall? Obviously, Matt James not ready, as the evidence and shows, or the facts show. Do you think that is she going to be able to date with dignity? Does she have what it takes to be able to identify, appreciate, nurture, or at least at the very least, at the end to carry this through to the end?
Well, let's see. My first impression of hers, I came into it totally neutral. I didn't really have a giant like or dislike for her. And I sort of feel that way so far after one episode. Like I didn't really, I get she's playful. She might be a little guarded. I don't know. She did come off with that big, yummy Tayshia energy. Like, hey guys, and that just might not be her personality. I liked her authenticity and her, her first toast. So I don't know yet if she's ready. It's kind of like we had our first date with Katie last night on the premiere, and I'm collecting data. I had some fun. And I'm excited to see what unfold. My concerns would be that she likes a guy who likes her. Like that she's going to be really one of those people that's like, you know, wanting someone to fall in love with her because of her, you know, possible, you know, wanting to belong, wanting to be. And also, my guess is she might be interested in the fixer-upper guy. I don't know. So, and we don't know the cast of guys yet really that well, but that's sort of my prediction right now. But I'm really glad I Reality Steve, who is not Reality Raina, but Reality Steve said, you know, buckle up. There's going to be about like a year's worth of straight Bachelor franchise product. So that means we get to do this show a lot, and I'm super excited.
I can't wait. It's been too long. You know what? Our last recording was 420. So I've been
420. Did you light up?
Yeah, and no, that was the last time we did it. So we were a little hungover, and now we're back for how many months straight? Did you just say?
I think Reality Steve said 9 months.
Jesus Christ, we can make a baby.
We could make a baby. We're gonna make a Bachelor baby. Podcast recap baby.
Love it.
All right, ladies. Chris, it's been a hoot, as they say. Get ready for a summer of fun with Katie and learning about dating through her antics. And in the meantime, whatever you do it with some damn dignity. We'll see you guys next time. Bye. Hey, thanks for tuning into today's show. So if being in an intimate relationship in which you feel 100% seen, heard, and accepted by a high caliber man is a priority for you right now, and you're interested in seeing if you're a fit for working with me and my team at Dating with Dignity, here's what I want you to do. Just head over to DWD VIP, that's D as in dating, W, D as in dating, VIP.com, and book a call to speak with my team. We'll get on the phone with you for about 60 minutes, and you'll get crystal clear on what's stopping you from finding true love right now. We'll also take a look at what you want to create, what you want your whole life to look like when you're able to finally be fully expressed as a woman in a healthy relationship with an incredible guy. And if we can help you get from where you are right now to where you want to be, we will show you the fastest path possible that makes sense for you to do that. We help smart, successful women all over the world solve this one missing piece in their life so they can finally have it all. So to see if we can help you do the same thing, head over to DWDVIP.com. I'm Marni Batista, and let's talk soon.